Most people want to start a business in their life or want to improve their life, and they end up being stuck in one place for a long period of time without doing anything or taking action. Not because somebody lacks the idea, not because you lack the money, not because you lack the connection, not because you lack what to do, but because you have a mindset problem that is telling you that you're not going to be able to do this. And many of us fall in that category where you have a lot of indecision, failure to take action. You feel like you have something you want to achieve but you're not doing it. You feel like you have a journey to take and you're not actually taking that journey. And you feel like you are stuck in that particular bubble. In this video today, I want to share with you the relationship between personal development and entrepreneurship and lessons I've learned in my journey of entrepreneurship, and I've been able to use personal development as a tool to grow my business and to get things started and get moving from one step to another. I've been doing business for quite a while and I've been taking different steps to try various ventures. I'm into manufacturing right now. I'm also into the event rental business. But 4 years ago, I wasn't where I am today. I was just like a random other guy who was employed in a media house, and I was doing my radio job and I was happy there. That's what I thought. But then later I discovered this is not what I actually wanted. And then I embarked on a journey to grow my business, to take it to where it was supposed to be. But little did I know that what I had started was going to be a long chapter of things that will happen in my life in relationship to personal growth if I wanted to see my business grow. And in that process, all I knew is I wanted to grow my business. All I knew is I wanted to become an entrepreneur. All I knew is I wanted to sell more. All I knew is I wanted to scale. All I knew is I wanted to become bigger. But then I didn't know how. And this is where personal growth comes in. In that process, I started with identifying so many problems that I actually had at the time, what was stopping me from getting to where I wanted. Then I started taking action. Actions like being able to work out on a daily, being able to have a plan, being able to read information that will help me understand my industries better, being able to look at things in a positive way, being able to have gratitude, being able to understand my numbers, everything. But all this didn't happen in one go. All this kept on increasing day by day. I became better day by day by practicing lots of things. And these things I did made me who I am today. And I want to say, if the guy today, me here who's speaking today, met the guy 4 years ago and we both stood together, I think the guy of today will look at the other guy and say, I'm glad I walked. And that is one thing I would love to see other people walk. And I want to say there is really a very big relationship between personal growth and entrepreneurship. In this video, let me share with you ways in which you can grow as an individual, and probably this would help you take your business from where you are to the next level. From my observation and my story, I've actually picked a number of lessons, and I want to share with you 3 lessons that I think if you put this into your life, you're going to be a better entrepreneur and take good action. Number 1, start before you're ready. In most cases, many of us want to figure out things to this percentage of 100%, where you feel like, I want to have everything figured out. And I want to assure you, you'll never have anything figured out. You'll never know what is going to happen. You'll never know what the market is going to tell you. You'll never know everything. You'll never have everything figured out. Even when you think you've figured out everything, you realize you hadn't actually figured out nothing. But I've learned that as you begin figuring out things as you move. You begin figuring out things as you go. I'm going to give you a scenario of when we're doing our manufacturing business. We started with detergents, and the biggest issue, we felt like we're going to create a multi-purpose liquid detergent, which most people in my country call liquid soap. And we felt like, yeah, we make this, we cut the price, we distribute it, it will move. And I'll tell you, we didn't know how to make the soap in the first place. Secondly, we didn't know who would buy. But because we started, everything started aligning itself and coming into line. We got to understand who has the best raw materials. How do we ship raw materials from the neighboring countries? What does the government say? how do we package that entire process. And every day became a day of learning something. Every day became a day of us solving a problem. We're never ready to package, we're never ready to distribute, we're never ready to do bulk manufacturing. We're never ready. We even didn't know how to price these products. But when I look back at the years when we started and we didn't know anything and what I know right now, I feel like I'm happy that I started. So it's very important that you actually start before you are ready. You will never be 100% ready. You will never be 100% ready. Lesson number 2. Action creates clarity, not overthinking. There are quite many ideas that we have that you think this idea would be a great idea. And overthinking an idea doesn't get it done. Getting the idea done is the best way possible, because once you begin doing, the idea becomes a reality. Once you begin doing, the idea becomes something that you can now actually experiment, something you can feel, something you can touch, something you can feel like, okay, this is how I'm going to twist this idea to make it viable. And by you doing is when your idea gets tested. It's when you get to understand that this idea either works or doesn't work. This also relates to the manufacturing business. When we were starting, we wanted to have a certain line of products which we thought were the best products, which we thought the market would want. In fact, our brains were focused on one particular product which we felt like if this one came to the market, we're going to crush it. That was the idea, and that's what we thought. It's when we started manufacturing the product that we got to understand lots of things about it, that it became clear that the product we wanted was, one, not viable. We wanted to manufacture a multi-surface super cleaner because we felt like we were looking for a super cleaner. And we got to understand the raw materials were quite expensive. It was hard to repurchase. And then it had lots of things, and then the market didn't actually want it. But when we started doing the product and started giving it to the people, it's when people started telling us what they actually wanted. And when we got to understand what they wanted, then we refined the product to give them what they needed. And I'll say, craft, refine the idea as you're actually moving on. You'll never have it in good shape. You never have something already figured out. You never have it in the right way possible. Make it better as you keep going. I've been doing this YouTube for quite a while, and most of my videos are not watched. And I also didn't know how to do this content. I didn't know how to sit here and share. I didn't have a lot of information. I had to do a lot of research. But right now, the more I've been doing YouTube is the more I've gotten to understand. The more I've become comfortable looking in this camera. The more I've got to understand editing. The more I've got to understand how to do thumbnails. The more I've got to understand how to add lighting, how to add a camera. Like, you keep transitioning. I didn't know most of the stuff. So whatever you're doing, you're not going to know how it's going to be done right now. But the more you keep doing it, is the more you're going to understand things better, and it's the better way you're going to craft the idea and make it much more refined. And lesson number 3 is I've got to learn that growth is very uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you, for you to become a good entrepreneur, you're going to have to grow. To grow in so many areas that will make it very uncomfortable. You're going to let go of so many people, friends who don't align with your goals, people who don't understand your goals. You're going to let go of so many things, travel. You're going to let go of a certain life, because every penny you'll get, you'll want to reinvest back. And this is going to cost your social life. This is going to cost you that outing, that pizza, that late night party. You're going to have to wake up to figure out things. You're going to have to wake up and make sure things make sense to you, even when they don't make sense to anybody else. You're going to learn how to negotiate. And in the start, when you don't have a big team, like me, when I was in my events business or even in a manufacturing business, like when you're alone, you're the CEO, MD, director, human resource, HR, things are going to come to you so bad. You're going to sit in a meeting with yourself, and you're going to make decisions that you also go back to yourself and say, I said this decision is wrong, and then you'll say this is right, then you'll judge yourself, forgive yourself. So it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be a bit not easy, not something anyone can understand. I don't know what success means to you, but whatever it is, you'll find it after going through discomfort. You won't sleep, you're going to overthink, you're going to go through a lot of things. You're going to be misunderstood, you're going to be rejected, people are going to tell you how that doesn't work. But as you keep to it, going through the uncomfortable things, I think that's where you find something that is really viable and something that will take you to the next level.